0. She's been a little inconsistent in her dives.
And there's that towel. You know, we've seen that with a couple divers. The towel on the platform, some complaints about the platform being slippery. And again, like before, she ends up taking off a foot from the end of the platform. That is to change everything you do.
It certainly does. Instead of spinning up close, you wind up spinning away from the platform. So when you get out of the dive, your forward momentum carries you right beyond vertical.
The question is, why didn't they do about the surface of the platform?
Well, they've platform down, they've cleaned it up, and the tough divers say, it's not going to bother me. The ones that put the towel down, they're making a point of reminding themselves, this is a slick tower.
Does that give you an excuse to fail?
Yes, it does.
Now here's Elena Morosino, her last dive, and she, your pick, I must bring that up, and she is in 6, has not shown the sparkle that we thought that she would have.
And I am surprised,
I am too.
I am humbled as well. This is a back 1 1/2 somersault, 3 1/2 twist, 3-2.
14 years of age, 4'9", 75 pounds. It's still not there.
It's just not there. And I saw her earlier in the week training and just diving up a storm. And I'm surprised that she didn't do better.
Remember the pro Michelle Mitchell? She said some days you wake up and it's just not there. I think that happened.
Very true. Very true. Now, what was wrong with this dive? Not enough somersaults. She needs to rotate that somersault more on the start in order to make the dive finish straight on the bottom. And you can see her legs just do not get up fast enough, and that dive is considerably short of straight up and down.
Her scores low, 5s, 5.5. There's a 4.5, 48.96. So it has been a disappointing Olympic Games for Elena Morosino. Angela Stasilevich of the Soviet Union.
Now she's doing a forward 3 1/2 somersault tuck.
She is in 4th place, and I don't think is going to move up with that entry.
I don't think so either. It's an unusual entry. She doesn't get all of the way out of the tuck position. And the degree of difficulty on this dive at 2.7, compared to the other competitors, you really have to do a good dive here to stay in the contest.
And here is Wendy Williams. She is now in 5th place. This is her last dive. And this is a dive that she got 10s on in the U.S. Nationals. She got 8s in the preliminary. Now, if she hits it, and she's really going to have to hit it well, she could pick up a medal. The possibility is there.
She has not been diving on. She's been slightly off on her dives throughout the contest. She needs to reach deep down at this point and pull out that best inward 2 1/2 pike.
You do it in a series, can you pull out just one dive?
It can be done, and we always admire the athletes who can under these circumstances.
She may have.
She very well may have. I'm very proud of that dive if I was her. She went after the dive. She had good control. She lined the dive up and disappeared. Now watch this. Notice how close to the platform she is with her feet. Right here. That's acceptable distance. Beautiful tight pike. She looks like an envelope there. She's so tight. And here is this lineup and that beautiful rip entry. I would expect high scores. Oh, her sister loved it. And there's that sign.
The sign that they made them take down, but she's got it in again.
Well, it worked.
8.5, 7.5, 8s across, 67.20. And we'll just have to wait to see how the scores total out with 3 divers remaining.
And there she is with her coach, Scott Rich.
Now, the way the diving order has worked, Shu-Yan Mei, who is leading, diving before Michelle Mitchell, so we'll know exactly what Michelle needs.
And this is a back 2 1/2 somersault pike at 2.9. If there's any weakness in her list, it's right here.
She has been inconsistent with this dive.
That's going to be difficult to score.
Why?
The dive went in perfectly clean. Hardly a ripple. But the dive did not go in straight. It went beyond vertical. Now let's watch this come out again that we saw in her reverse. Watch where her feet are in relation to the water when she lets go of that pike. Right there, pointing straight down. She lines up for the water, but reaches slightly beyond straight up and down. Now, I saw a slight turn there. I don't know if the judges would have picked that up.
8, 7 1/2, 8, 7, 8, 68, 73.
The door is open.
Michelle Mitchell of the United States. Her final dive in competition. She retires after this dive.
And what a dive to retire on. It's her best one. Forward 3 1/2 somersault tuck, 2-7.
She needs 8s and a half, 9s, points needed, 69 points for the gold. Will she have to settle for the silver?
She may. That dive was too short of vertical. I would expect lower scores than the one she needed. Again, you saw she was slightly back on the platform, and that dive did not go in straight up and down and without the splash that the judges like to see. See that? That's going to hurt her.
8, 7, 7 1/2. That's not enough. 60, 75. That's not enough for the gold. She is still in the middle of the medals with one diver to go. That is Chin Xiao Dan.
And what a dive this is going to be. A back 3 1/2 somersault tuck, a 3.3 degree of difficulty. And there is Su Yan Mei and her coach, and they're eagerly waiting this dive.
If she hits it, possibility of a gold. If she hits it reasonably well, possibility of the silver. Oh, no. Oh.
Looking at that jump back onto the platform, we saw her do it on her inward 3 1/2, and we're going to see it again here. And that is why she missed that dive. What a shame.
Oh,
She had
you
such
don't
a
want to finish
tremendous
that
chance.
way. No.
See that jump back into the tower? The rotation is just too fast. She kicks straight up and down and way, way over.
But what this may do when you see the scores, and look how low the scores are, this may move Wendy Leanne Williams to the bronze.
Oh, what a tremendous opportunity for Leanne Williams, because that happens to be the nature of diving at this level.
We are double checking. It is Su Yan Mei for the gold, Michelle Mitchell for the silver, and Wendy Lee Williams for the bronze. United States with their first 2 Olympic medals, and this is an upset.
A major upset.
Yes.
I think the U.S. coaching staff is stunned by this.
Let's go down to Greg Lewis. Greg?
All right, we're going to try to move out here, Charlie, so you can see our silver medalist. Well, what did you think about this day? You were in contention for a gold at one point.
I felt really good up there, like somebody was watching over me. And I'm really happy. I'm really happy.
Silver in 84, silver in 88 is okay with you to finish the career?
Any medal is great with me to finish this career. I'm really pleased, and I'm really happy Wendy got in there too.
What do you think made the difference today? It was within your grab till the very last there.
I think today was the experience of age versus the resiliency of youth, and I was hoping that experience would pay off, and it did for me. Silver's great.
Now what? No more diving at all? We don't get to see this beautiful performer anymore?
I think I might go up and do one more 3 1/2 for 10s and see what happens, but no, I think this is it.
America's enjoyed you as a champion. Great job here today. Let's go back to Charlie.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, and our congratulations also to Michelle Mitchell, to Su Yan Mei of China with the gold medal, Michelle Mitchell of the United States with the silver, Wendy Leanne Williams with the bronze. And here is your gold medalist, Su Yan Mei of China. The gold medalist, and deservedly so.
She really did, Charlie. She
well.
hit back and reverse optionals very well. She was steady all the way through the compulsory rounds, and she certainly does deserve the gold, and we're very happy to see that happen for her.
The results are now official here at the women's platform 10-meter platform, the gold to China, the silver to the United States, and the bronze to the United States. Let's go to Brian.
Okay, Charlie.
Now for the gold, and there is the favorite Kristin Otto of East Germany. First start is a good one, and they come out swimming. Good dives by all 8.
Derek came up a little slow, but Manuela Stalmach, boy, she's just turning over a little Janet Evans windmill stroke.
Dara Torres swimming very well at the top of your screen in lane 1, and she might take it to the wall as the leader. She's a former world record holder at 50 meters. This, of course, is 2 lengths. The 50-length pool, 50-meter length pool. Kristin Otto is leading right now. Catherine Plawinski's coming on. Sylvia Pohl's coming on as they make the turn for home.
World record pace, Don. They're faster, 10 to the second faster than world record pace.
They are indeed, and now it is the world champion Kristin Otto who has the lead. The 6'2" sprinter, and now Kristin Otto is in the lead. Swimming down the lane, swimming very well in lane 5 down from the top of your screen. Dara Torres is coming out on the outside. She'll not get the go, but she's fighting for a bronze, and Xiao Wang from China is coming out, but as they go to the wall, it is the favorite taking the event. Kristin Otto of East Germany wins in 54.93 over her world record time. But still good for the gold. The second finisher was Chuang Zhuang of China, the 16-year-old who did indeed come up big in this event, as a lot of people speculated she would. And Catherine Plawinski of France, who was the fastest qualifier yesterday, she finished 3rd for the bronze.
It's the first time I've seen Otto smile all week. There's been a lot of pressure, fast as he possibly can, and Morehouse will be basically pulled along in between them.
This is the slowest of the 4 swimming strokes, the breaststroke. The race is 2 lengths of this 50-meter pool. There's the favorite, fastest qualifier, Adrian Morehouse. He spent time in his career training in the Soviet Union. Difficult stroke, isn't it, John? There's a lot of coordination, a lot of synchronization between the kick and the pull. They have to be done separately but in sync.
Well, perhaps I'm oversimplifying it, but it's like tapping your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. You got to do it for a long time, and timing is so critical.
They're on the blocks. This, the gold medal swim in the men's 100-meter breaststroke.
False start. Giovanni Minervini from UCLA. He shaved his head last night since the preliminaries. He really wants to do a job on this. It's really going to be interesting. They get in their set position. You take a look at lane 2. It'll be second from the top. This is Giovanni Minervini. He's going to just lean too much. The starter sees him leaning, and he goes. Richard Schroeder in the lane next to him and says, well, if he's going to get wet and loosen down, I might as well also. Now, that false start is charged to the entire field. So on the 3rd time, a swimmer who false starts the 3rd time, regardless of whether they were at fault in the first 2, will get automatically disqualified. I should note one real quick thing. Morehouse in lane 4 did a dolphin kick at the World Championships off the wall. That is cause for disqualification. There was a similar instance in 1972 when a Japanese swimmer was accused of this, but officials don't like controversy at the Olympics. So the question is, will Morehouse use that knowledge and try to get away with something, or will he stick to the letter of the law? That's what we're wondering.
And that's what we're going to find out right now. They're away. It is a good start. The men's 100-meter breaststroke. Out of the dive, swimming well in lane 3 is Dmitry Volkov from the Soviet Union, and he has the lead after the first 25 meters. Swimming in the yellow cap.
He's going for it, no question about it.
Giovanni Minervini in lane 2 is swimming well also. Schroeder's come out nicely in lane 1 for the USA at the top of your screen. As they go to the turn, and now 50 meters to the medals. 50 meters to go in the men's 100-meter breaststroke, and they are faster than the world record split.
Hey, comfortably so, Don. 0.6 of a second. That's a big chunk in the 100.
Richard Schroeder, the USA, is starting to contend, but right now Dmitry Volkov is still leading the race. The 22-year-old Soviet, who was out with a serious hand injury, came back to qualify well yesterday, and now, with 10 meters to swim, heading for the wall and the finish, it is Dmitry Volkov going for gold. Coming up fast is Adrian Morehouse, who might touch him out, and it looks like it might be Morehouse. It is. Adrian Morehouse wins Olympic gold in the men's 100-meter breaststroke. Just touching out Gutler of Hungary, who also closed quickly as the Soviet faded, and Volkov, who led, looked like he was going to go start to finish, ended up 3rd for the bronze. The American swimmer, Schroeder, was 6th in the race.
Most amazing finish. Take a look here. The Soviets leading. Morehouse at the bottom of the screen is going to go for him. As we open up the picture, you see just at the bottom in lane 6, the Hungarian has probably got a lead, but he makes a lunge. Morehouse makes the lunge at the better time. The Hungarian lunged too soon and ran up short. Adrian Morehouse ran him down from the rear. An amazing swim.
And now let's take a look at the official results of the men's 100-meter breaststroke. Morehouse of Great Britain is the winner. He gets gold. Gutler of Hungary is second. Silver. Volkov of the Soviet Union gets the bronze. Neighbor, this is Don Cricky at swimming. This is the race that is 8 lengths to the pool. The world record is held by an East German swimmer, Petra Schneider. She set that in Guayaquil back in 1982. She also holds the Olympic record, set that in Moscow in 80. And the American record is held by Janet Evans of the USA. There's Janet.
You know, Janet at the preliminaries looked a little bit scared. In fact, she doesn't look like she's strutting her stuff right now. Although I was surprised she was looking a little intimidated in the preliminaries, she went out and swam like a champion. So I'm hoping that this is not indicative of what we're going to see in the water. She's a very poised young woman in the pool. She knows what to do. In fact, she says she backed off in the preliminaries on her last 2 strokes. So we've got a lot more to see out of her.
And here is the reigning world champion in this event, Kathleen Nord, 22 years old from East Germany.
Deutschland Demokratische Republik there on her t-shirt. You know, the East Germans are a very intimidating force because they don't go out of their way to express their personality. They've got it, and you've got to scratch beneath the surface to find it. But on top, they're party line animals, if you know what I mean.
And they are swimming pools in that water. They go hard at every practice. Everybody stood around and couldn't believe how hard the East Germans were training just before the race. But they know how to do it. They have dominated women's swimming since they came on the scene in the 70s.
The race 4 minutes and 40 some odd seconds. It's an endurance event using different strokes, therefore different muscle groups. It's a very exhausting event.
The last time American women swam against the East German women was in '76 in Montreal, that in the Olympics. We have a false start. And in that year, in 1976, the East Germans won 10 of 12 gold medals. We won just 1. The Soviet women won 1.
To explain the start of the race, the official, in this case Russ White from Houston, has got to make sure they're all totally stationary. And then as he begins to squeeze the trigger, you saw the strobe at the foot of the official's platform there. He notices that somebody indeed was moving, so he pulls it a second time. We hear double beepers, and everyone gets out of the water and starts again. This is Russ White out of Texas. He is a fabulous starter because he takes time to learn about the swimmers in his events. And so he knows who anticipates the gun. He knows how they, you know, sort of do their little moves. One move is putting one hand on the block and the other one sort of having it creeping forward. So you've got some momentum, but it's concealed from the official. He watches the swimmers and knows what to expect.
So Proctor from Australia in lane 1, Unger from East Germany lane 2, Evans of the USA lane 3, Lung, the fastest qualifier in lane 4, counting down from the top of your screen, and Kathleen Nord in lane 5. The field rounded out by Clatworthy, Dendabarova, and Lynn Lee.
Boy, that looked like somebody was rolling a bit up in lane 2.
But it's a good start. And Janet Evans swimming 3 down from the top, swimming just off the lead that is now held by the 16-year-old from East Germany, Daniela Unger, at the top of your screen in the white cap.
This is the event Tracy Calkins won by 10 seconds in Los Angeles. Because there's 4 different strokes, the lead could change according to the different swimmers' strengths. Donna De Verona won this in Tokyo.
The butterfly is the first 100 meters, 2 lengths of that stroke. Then they go to the backstroke, to the breaststroke, and to the freestyle. It should be pointed out that Janet Evans, who's swimming 3rd down lane 3, is best at the final 2 strokes, the breast and the freestyle.
You know, you can expect these Germans to be going out well in the butterfly. Fortunately for the United States, Janet Evans' best strokes are towards the end of the race, and her endurance plays double.
Kathleen Nord of East Germany swimming in lane 5, coming up nicely now, and Kathleen Nord is going to take it to the wall after the first 100 meters as they conclude the fly portion, and now they go to the backstroke.
From Romania's got a good backstroke. They're slower than world record pace at this point, but Evans' endurance may help the end of the race.
Janet Evans is contending for the lead. She in the black cap there, and Janet talked to us before the race about her strategy in the 400 IM.
I don't really know her splits yet because I've never swum against her, so I'm going to look at her splits and probably just mostly try to move on the breaststroke freestyle because that's what I went easy on today, and that's what I want to move and get her, catch up with her.
And right now, Janet Evans of the USA has taken the lead as they're through 150 meters. They come to the second 50-meter length of the backstroke. Challenging Janet Evans is Naomi Long of Romania. That is Evans in front, though, the American record holder and the holder of 3 other world records in swimming.
Look at that concentration on her face. A little half turn to the left. She can see Lung from Romania. She knows where the competitor is. Romania's got a better backstroke, but it's not catching Evans. Evans is definitely on her way for gold.
Janet Evans with her 2 best strokes coming up. When they go to the wall this time, they'll come out in the breaststroke. 100 meters of that, then they go to the freestyle, her very best stroke. They're slower than world record splits, but now Janet Evans has taken about a 1.5-second lead over the East German who led earlier, Daniela Unger.
Now, they may be slower than record, but not by much. 1/10 of a second, and Evans' best part is still to come, the freestyle. She looks strong. She looks really good. Remember, being smaller, she just keeps it going, keeps that turnover moving.
Those are the 4 strokes. Janet Evans was 1 second faster in the backstroke leg than she was yesterday in qualifying. So right now, Janet Evans comes up to the first 50 meters of the breaststroke. She'll take it back in with the breaststroke, and then they go to the freestyle. Janet Evans of the USA is still in the lead. Naomi Long is about 1 second behind, as you see. Janet Evans with a full body length lead over Naomi Long, swimming in lane 4 from Romania.
You know, Janet's the first to say, if I get to the wall first at the breaststroke, ain't nobody going to catch her.
Now, John, we have a contender coming up near the bottom of the screen, Elena Dendibarova from the Soviet Union. She is coming up in the yellow cap. At the moment, it is Janet Evans with Dendibarova now challenging Naomi Long for second place. This is the final of the women's 400-meter individual medley. When they conclude this length of the pool, they go to 100 meters of freestyle, and that will be it for the medals. Now, Janet Evans comes to the wall and goes to her specialty. It's freestyle all the way home.
They're a little bit slower than world record pace, but if she can bring it home in 1 minute and 2 seconds, that American cheering squad's going to have something really to yell about.
Give you an idea how fast Janet is swimming today. She's 2 seconds faster in the breaststroke leg than she was in the qualifiers yesterday. Janet Evans now with about 75 meters to swim. Taking it to the final turn at a 17-year-old Janet Evans, 101 pounds, who's got to stoke herself with food all day to keep that body weight up to 101. Evans with a substantial lead, and now they come to the final 50 meters. The moment of truth for little Janet Evans. Could she do it? Could she take on the East German? She could indeed. But it's going to be a fight to the wall. Contending heavily now in lane 4 is Naomi Long, who is the fastest qualifier. Here comes Dendibarova, swimming very well from the Soviet Union in lane 7. Janet Evans fighting to hold on. She now has 15 meters to swim. She now has 20 meters coming to the wall, and Janet Evans getting close. She's going to win gold. Janet Evans of the USA wins gold in the 400-meter individual medley. The second place finisher was Naomi Long of Romania. The third place finisher, the 16-year-old from East Germany, Daniela Unger. Fourth place finisher was Dendibarova of the Soviet Union. It was a new American record, but more important than all, they were racing not against the clock, against each other, and Janet Evans holds up the form chart projected for her coming in at age 17 in her first Olympic final. Janet Evans wins gold, and she's a long way from done in this biggest meet of all.
Absolutely no question from the end of the breaststroke, this was Janet Evans' race. You see her full body length lead, you see her trademark windmill stroke, and now instead of looking back, you saw her glimpse forward to the finish line. This is the culmination of an awful lot of pressure, an awful lot of attention. Americans, first gold medal with a new American record.
So the USA with its first gold of the day, and shortly Matt Biondi will be swimming for one in the 200-meter freestyle. Janet Evans with a new American record, but more importantly, Janet Evans with gold. Long is second, Unger is third. Dendibarova, the Soviet Union.
Now their breathing is back to normal, their heart's back to normal, and they can hear the crowds, they can see a friendly face. It's the most meaningful part of an athlete's journey for gold.
Well, you made that trip 4 times yourself, picking up Olympic gold in Montreal in '76. And Janet Evans is going to the stand for the first time.
I can't help waving myself.
The American swimming team, a lot of friends and parents in their section here at the Olympic Swimming Park Stadium, which is absolutely a phenomenal facility. The Koreans actually built one swimming venue. didn't think they liked it well enough, so they built another. This wasn't completed until last April.
You know, the first pool they built was fine. It just didn't have enough seats. They needed to put in 10,000 people. So instead of building new seats, they built a new stadium. It is a fast pool.
There is the pool at the other end is a diving pool. This is a 50-meter pool, 10 lanes, as John was pointing out. The swimmers do not swim in the outside lanes, which makes it all the faster. Janet Evans is the object of much attention from college recruiters right now. She'll be a senior, and she's an honors student in Placentia, California. And reportedly in the hunt to get Janet Evans to a scholarship, and she could mean an NCAA championship, Stanford, Texas, and Florida. I guess she just ruled out Florida. Maybe not.
In any case, it's a team title, whoever gets her.
The gold medalist and Olympic champion, representing the United States of America with a time of 4 minutes, 37.76, Janet Evans. The silver medalist, representing Romania with a time of 4 minutes, 39.46, Noemi Long.
She challenged but could not overtake Janet Evans, Naomi Lung. These three will be seeing each other again at the World Championships and in all probability at Barcelona in '92.
We'll be seeing a lot more of these swimmers as the meet goes on. Janet's got 2 more events. Naomi Lung in the 200 individual medley. Nord's got butterflies. I mean, these athletes are here to swim.
Representing the German Democratic Republic with a time of 4 minutes, 39.76.
Every word, every moment, indelibly etched in the back of your mind. You don't forget this as long as you live.
The East German coach, Wolfgang Rechter, told us he thinks this is going to be a superstar in women's swimming. The third-place finisher, Daniela Unger, 16 years old. And now it has to be for Janet Evans and the American team the most special moment of all. We're going to have the playing of our national anthem.
The national anthem of the United States of America.
Set that in the qualifying heat at Austin, Texas.
In lane 7, the bronze medalist in the 200.
know, they are bouncing around a little bit, trying to get their pulse rate up without stressing any of the muscles. So those swinging of the arms, jumping up and down, that's all part of a pre-race routine that everyone likes to do.
They've met before, Gross and Biondi. In fact, before they swam in a final at the World Championships in Madrid in '86, are on lanes next to each other as they are today. And Gross turned to Biondi and said, "Matt, let's race."
Great commentary.
So there they are, the top people in the middle, Gross, Wodat, and Biondi.
That's world record holders in the 100, 200, and 400-meter freestyle, all meeting in middle ground. What a thrill. They're both, I predict, Gross and Biondi are going to go out for it. Wodat's going to be in the middle, and he's going to be pulled along by their wake. And he's got the endurance to make a charge towards the end. Remember, Gross said whoever leads at the 150 is not even going to get a medal. They expect a big back half of this race. And let's not forget Troy Dalby, the other American, up in lane 2. He beat Biondi in the finals of the Olympic trials.
There's Troy Dalby, 20 years old today, from San Jose, California. Swam very well in the trials and qualifying yesterday. Matt Biondi stands almost 6'7". And his arch rival Michael Gross is almost 6'8", but his arm span is unbelievable. Michael Gross, from fingertip to fingertip stretched out, his arm span is 7'4". We're ready to go now to finals of the men's 200-meter freestyle, and we have the oftentimes false start coming here as we get a man getting wet early. That's Michael Gross.
You know, I don't know why I didn't see that one coming. There's a lot of tension on the blocks. His athletes are a little bit jittery.
Gross, John, as we heard him say earlier, thinks the man who touches the wall for the final turn at 150 meters isn't going to win it. What do you think of that?
Well, it's certainly, that's why they have the race, to see what goes on. You see Gross jumping in the water. It wasn't as if he was trying to hold himself back. Gross, third down, he just leans out and goes. Not a major issue with him. There's 3 false starts available. On the third one, you're disqualified. Gross just wanted to get wet and loosen up.
Gross has bulked up somewhat. He's heavier than he was at the European Championships at Strasbourg in August of 1987. He didn't swim a whole lot here in Seoul since he's arrived. He is honed to such a fine, sharp edge and ready.
You know, he came up with his own nickname in a jesting session with a Western journalist. He called himself Albatross as a lark, and it caught and swept over the world.
Away, the second start is a good one. 4 lengths of the 50-meter pool. The men's 200-meter freestyle, the gold medal race. Matt Biondi is out nicely.
Going for it right off the bat. Bingo, half a body length lead at 25 meters.
Great dive for Biondi, but this is 4 lengths now. This is a bit longer than the sprints he's used to. Swimming well in lane 8. Near the bottom is Anders Holmertz. In the yellow cap, Biondi will go to the wall to the first turn with the lead. Holmertz with a good turn now, starting to challenge Matt Biondi.
0.8 of a second ahead of world record pace. He's going out for it, as we saw. Look how deliberate his entry is, how cleanly he puts his hands in the water. You see them extending ahead of him after they penetrate the pool, so he can get a full sweeping motion with his arm.
Matt Biondi still has the lead, although it looks like Holmertz at the bottom in lane 8 might go to the wall right with them. Just about dead even through the first 100 meters. So they are out through the first half of the race, and they are still faster than the world record.
0.8 of a second ahead of record pace. You see Biondi looking left. He's looking at Holmertz. There's nobody between them. He sees that's where the competition is. And look at the draft he's providing for Duncan Armstrong. Armstrong sailing on the wake.
And here comes Michael Gross of West Germany. Michael Gross trying to catch Biondi. That is Biondi in the middle pool. You see Gross right in the middle now as they go to the final turn. 50 meters to swim. Biondi with the lead by the narrowest of margins. Still under the world record split. Biondi of the USA swimming first. Duncan Armstrong, the Australian, swimming very well in lane 6. Matt Biondi and Duncan Armstrong. And now it looks like Armstrong of Australia is going to take it in. Holmertz coming hard, so is Biondi. An upset winner from Australia. Duncan Armstrong, a 20-year-old from Brisbane, comes from behind in the final 50 meters, and he wins Olympic gold. Matt Biondi was third. The second place finisher, the Swede Anders Holmertz. Michael Gross, the world record holder, did no better than fifth.
That world record fell Australia with a new world record, and he did it on a free ride on Matt Biondi. Biondi was afraid of the guy Vodat, and so he moved away from him. Not going to give the Polish swimmer the draft. Let's take a look at this. At 125 meters, Biondi's got a full body length lead. He's all alone, full body length lead. Armstrong sensing, gee, I can sort of hang along for the ride. It's like drafters in cycling. You get close, you can just pick it up. And Armstrong just moves on in. This is a textbook example of how to draft. Biondi all alone right now. Absolutely no competition going into the wall, except down here. Holmertz turns even in first. Now watch this. Armstrong next to him, sucking next to the lane line. Biondi is coming in this side. He's staying away from Wodat. And what happens? Armstrong just body surfs this wave all the way to the wall. You don't swim on the lane like that by accident. He knows exactly what's going on. Look, Biondi's moving in. Biondi moved down, moving down closer to the other lane line. It's an easy draft all the way. And reaching for the wall. Gold medal, Australia. I can't even believe it.
So Duncan Armstrong, the 1986 Commonwealth Games champion.
Right into the twist. Smooth motion. Perfect form. Watch what he does with his hands. He grabs his hands right there, and that's what makes that entry so clean.
And that's why there's